Namaste, angels. Let's get into the love reading for today, the 17th, Sunday, September 17th through Saturday, September 23rd. I'm beginning with forgiveness, which is quite appropriate for this week because on the Thursday, I almost said the day and the date at the same time. On Thursday, the date will be the 21st, and the 21st is a few things. The one that had just come to mind with regard to forgiveness is Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is 10 days before Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is the high holy day of basically atonement. And beginning with Rosh Hashanah, we will count from that day through the 30th, day 1 of like repentance, day 2 of repentance, day 3, day 4, and so on, all the way to and through the 30th. So forgiveness, very important this week. The 21st is also the feast day of St. Matthew the Apostle and the day of the new moon. Okay, and I've opened to fear, opposite forgiveness. So some people may be afraid, lacking the courage right now to admit that they were wrong and ask for forgiveness, to seek forgiveness, or even to extend it. Fear equals ego. Some people may be, hesitant to extend forgiveness, to offer forgiveness, to say, look, I was wrong. I'm forgiving myself, though, and I'm sorry, to you. Forgiveness back. And opening to balance. A lot of this card has been coming up a lot in my client readings as well this week, having to do, in many cases, with the air and water. But also, I think that those two elements, like when we can achieve the perfect mix of them, and, with all that's been going on with all the hurricanes, that's, some air and water for your ass too. I think that what's coming through the cards is if we can get air and water to, harmoniously and lovingly and peacefully come together, like all will be right with the world, at least with our individual personal worlds. And again, for that, some forgiveness, beginning with ourselves, necessary. Balance and reflection, which is also required sometimes in order to even like, what am I seeking forgiveness? For what am I forgiving you? We got to look back at our past and remember, we got to consider things, weigh some options. There goes that balance again, right? All that kind of stuff. So I'm going to cut here on balance. Balance, also a very healing energy where there's been pain and hurt. It comes in to set things right in your relationship. And when this card turns up, similar to what I was just saying, if there's difficulty in a relationship with someone else, we're guided to look within first and work on healing the relationship with ourselves first, forgiving ourselves first. The overall energy is abundance, which is pretty awesome. This week we also have the, like I said, the new moon in Virgo. So that can have something to do with the abundance, that earth element. We also have the sun entering Virgo on the 22nd of this week. So a lot of activity in that area going on. I think Venus as well, entering Virgo. And Venus is the goddess of both love and money. So that can be what this is about. Abundance of both. So I'm going to begin with the cross spread from the masculine perspective. And this card representing the feminine with regard to herself from my Tony Carmine Solano Universal Love Oracle. The masculine with regard to the feminine. To himself and the union as a whole. Overall, the outcome. This horse, I've been moving him around all day. I can't seem to get it right. What the masculine would have the feminine do or surrender or contribute toward the union this week as it relates to love. And the masculine, what he's willing to do himself. And what the universe would have the two to do or surrender. Feminine with regard to herself, spiritual growth. So perfect week for that as well. Again, like I said, we're leading into the holiest day of all days on the Hebrew calendar. Now, also, when I first started talking to you guys last year or whatever, when I started doing this about the Hebrew calendar, we discussed both. We discussed counting from Tishri, which is now, when Rosh Hashanah is falling, and we discussed starting from the month of Nisan. So that's two different calendars, like the ancient calendar and the current calendar. So the new year is in connection, obviously, with the current calendar, not counting from Nisan, counting from Tishri, which starts on the 21st, along with all that other stuff. The new moon, Rosh Hashanah, St. Matthew, Tishri, all on the 21st. The masculine with regard to the feminine. Oh, so I was saying all that because of the spiritual growth. Again, a very intense week in that regard. Guardian angel. I never considered the masculine feeling like protected by the feminine. And I've told mine many times that, like, how protected I feel around him, how safe I feel around him. I don't care, about our differences and all that kind of stuff. That never even came to play. It's just a feeling. But I never considered the masculine feeling protected by the feminine. But that's what's being said here. Very interesting. Very nice. Very sweet. The masculine with relation to himself as it relates to the union. Tantric union. A lot of evidence of sexy time kind of energy coming through. In this case, at least as it relates to 5D, maybe sending messages in, telepathically and or in your sleep, visiting you in your sleep, sending loving energy, and maybe actually interacting, something that you'll be able to remember. Might be a good week, ladies, to keep, a piece of paper, a pen by your bed, so you can write down whatever you remember as soon as you wake up, before you forget it. And the union as a whole. Retreat and meditation. Retreating to meditate and to commune with nature. This is about the abundance. And in order for the flow of prosperity to move freely about, we do have to reconnect with nature. We do have to do this meditation. We don't have to do it like this. We can, but we don't have to. You don't have to, sit Indian style and be by yourself and like this. Now, I think it's helpful to be alone, but there's group meditation. There's guided meditation. If you're doing that, just make sure that you are familiar with what might be said. I personally don't subscribe to and or support these YouTube ones, the guided meditations, because people can speak things over your life before it's too, if you're tuned in before it's too late and you they've wished something negative upon you. And I actually heard one once, this woman directing people to give her permission to, she wanted them to say their names out loud and all this kind of stuff, and give her permission to enter, their bodies, basically their soul matrix. And then she began to call in dark angels. This was on YouTube. So I'm against that, like guided meditation with strangers and stuff. But if you are familiar with what might be said, that's a way, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Now, this has to be done outside, or should be done outside. Should be done in some sort of way where you're connecting to nature. But if that means that you're, walking while you're doing it, and that's what makes you feel comfortable, that's fine too. You don't have to do it this way, is what I was trying to say. But do it to open that flow. You'll be happy you did. Overall, Goddess of the Moon, new moon this week. That's why she never fails. She always shows up. I'm sure she'll be back for the actual moon reading too. This is about surrender. And actually, I went over my surrender cards in the general. So we talked about a lot of what we can let go this week from both sides, both archetypes. What would the masculine have the feminine to do this week toward the union? Creativity, coming up with creative ways they can interact with one another, communicate with one another. And he's already come up with a creative way. So he's leaving the rest to us, maybe a creative way to respond to messages he's sending out. And what further is he willing to do? He's willing to let go of something old that no longer serves him or the union, to vacate a space for something new. That's what heaven on earth is about. It's like, in order to achieve this feeling, that comes through looking at the imagery of the card. In order to achieve that, we have to let go. We have to surrender. We have to release something that's been holding us back. And he knows what it is, whatever it is in his case. What would the universe have the two of us to do and/or surrender? This reflection. So again, looking back on your life, taking the positive moments and lessons and memories with you, leaving behind, dropping it at the door, as they say, the resentment, the fear, the ego, the regret, the pain, the hurt, like all of that, any negative emotions and or negative cords of attachment. And then looking forward, to your future, fondly, positively, happily, about all, that you're going to achieve. And be confident about it, that you will. Have faith. And the outcome. Transience. This is, in fact, allowing ourselves to be healed by the universe. And you can see this woman's being healed in every aspect, every area. So her future is bright, literally. She's got all this white light shining on her. I'm going to do another cross spread, this one from the perspective of the universe rather than the masculine. Beginning with twin flames. I just began with forgiveness. This is interesting. I hadn't looked at it like this before, but I began with forgiveness with the other deck. Now twin flame, and here's release your ex when I use the romance cards. In any case, twin flame and opening to wallflower. Twin flame. Wallflower to me is somebody reserved, standoffish, distant, perhaps lacking self-confidence, low self-esteem, all those things. But there's a need to get yourself together, and so that you can communicate, let go of that fear that you're not good enough or strong enough or whatever to reach out, whether you're the masculine, the feminine, or whatever the case, and instead communication. This is about love. Communication. Also this week, Mercury completely out of retrograde, out of its shadow too. That is on Tuesday, the 19th. So that can be another reason for communication. It's flowing more freely because, none of us will have any lingering, energy of this Mercury retrograde hovering over us anymore. And opening to new love. Communication and work. As it relates to the love reading and to love, this is working on communication, working on your relationship. Working on ceasing to be a wallflower. This is Raphael to help us heal. Communication. And opening to young female. Young female can be the masculine, can be the feminine, could be somebody's child that's, key in this or has been a factor. I'm going to cut on this note. And children, and I'd say, somebody's child that's been a factor. Yeah, I think for the majority, that's what it is. The overall energy is true love. This card will represent the divine couple, the recent past, the near future, the masculine's higher self. Blocks to the union. What the feminine can do, what the masculine can do. Raphael's still with us. Further advice from the universe and the outcome. Divine couple. Wow. When I tell you, I know a lot of you don't watch my client readings. I put them up there in case anybody does want to watch them. Not only so they can see how I do them if they're interested in getting one from me of their own, but just because I feel that there are but so many, so to speak, like templates among us. And we all share very similar overall lives, but for a few nuances that make them personal and specific to us. And I see a lot of repeating things happening when I do my client readings. Like, it'll be by quote unquote happenstance or coincidence that, 1 week for everybody for whom I read is a Capricorn, or that sort of thing. And this week, so many, maybe 4 or 5 of my client readings, the twin flame card represented the divine couple. Well, here it is for the collective. So, ooh, sexy time this week. I'm going to have to pull the dice out. Recent future. I got all confused. Recent future. Recent past. Jeez. True gem was the recent past. And this has to do with the ascension of many of our relationships. Some even, taking it to this kind of level, having gotten engaged or married even, or exchanging other gifts. Reaching that place is metaphoric for some of us. Reaching that place of like very mutual exchange, that 50-50, sort of like the 6 of earth. Okay, that kind of, which the 6 of earth, the 6 of pentacles for me represents like pure, unadulterated, unconditional love. Like that's the real deal. It's really like I'm giving of you because my heart wants me to, not because I want something, like no agenda. And I want you to accept it. I hope that you'll accept it. Also, free of agenda and all that kind of thing. So that's what's coming through here. That's the recent past. The near future. See, this got me all sorts of confused. Uh-oh. Short-term heartbreak in the near future. Some of us are going to be, I think, releasing our ex. And boom, when I pick this up, right behind it, past life relationship. However, trust that everything is going to be okay. This situation is calling for you to have faith. The time has come for you to clear your energy and release your ex. So that may lead to short-term heartbreak for some. June is also coming through too, which isn't necessarily recent, but then again, time is relative and all that with this true gem. And the zodiac sign of Gemini begins in May, but June specifically is coming through. That something may have occurred between the couple in June for a good bit of us. And I guess that's what's led us here, at least in part. And here we have short-term, maybe there was a breakup here, a separation here, and the masculine and or the feminine instead had dealings with karmic, and now it's time to let go of that karmic. Short-term heartbreak. Masculine's higher self. Let's find out more information instead of me guessing. Yep, boom, past life. This is where he is right now, dealing with a past life situation. And a quote-unquote karmic situation, very possibly, like the one that's sitting here with the top of the romance angels and the need to release his ex. Blocks to the union. Ice King. So somebody very overbearing and authoritative in an unattractive way. Somebody very Aries, very Leo. And I say that as lovingly as I can. I myself am a Leo rising. It is what it is. Overbearing and manipulative. Also can be an air sign with this ice. But this guy always looks very, very Mars and Aries to me. And of course, the lion brings in the energy of Leo, and then all the snow and frozen tundra, the air signs. So that's what I would say. It's an air sign, or specifically a Leo or an Aries, or somebody with that kind of overbearing type of energy. And in the general reading, Mars came through to me more so Scorpio, because Mars is also a ruler of Scorpio. And there's an interesting twist with that. Sure enough, like Scorpio showed up, but I'm not getting that from here. I'm definitely getting that kind of fire sign, like Ra, Ra energy. What can the feminine do? Communicate. You might need to initiate it as well, feminine, in some cases. Even where you don't, where you're on the receiving end, you're guided, obviously, to be receptive this week, particularly receptive. And masculine, what about you? Young female. You're guided into surrender. Remember the goddess showed up here, the goddess of the moon? That's feminine energy of surrender. You're guided to use that energy this week. Maybe in healing your inner feminine. For some of you, there is a relationship where you are like the more childlike, and this is like this could be your father, who's been a block to some people, and that's with what they're dealing, and you're actually feeling like this young female. For others, this is just about the need to surrender. Further advice from the universe: money. This means when you put the work in, when you put the effort in, you are rewarded. Also means Venus stands by closely this week. As a matter of fact, that could be in good part what's showing up here. Venus in the sky is also Thursday. It might also be Thursday. You got to look at the general I don't remember. But Venus is going to be like here. And then here's going to be Mars and Mercury, like sort of fighting for her attention. Well, this card all on its own says Mars and Mercury to me. I just went over that. And this says Venus, goddess of love and money. So if we put the effort in and like sort of fight for her attention, we will be rewarded with that. And the outcome, dark male, boom. This is what you've been waiting for. Here he comes yet again. He's been here for like 5 weeks straight. And a lot of us, fortunately, seeing that in real life too. And this is like the real outcome. This is the real story. All right. So lastly, I'm going to do the spread with the romance angels. Again, beginning with release your ex. Whatever archetype you are, masculine, feminine, if you have an ex to release, I'm talking to you. The time has come to clear your energy. And so you can call in your soulmate. Remember, vacating one space so that something, of something old so that something new can come in. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. Release your ex and chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. That reminds me about the dice again. Release your ex. True love, just like we had before as our energy with the other deck. This is the romance of a lifetime. Release your ex and codependency. Boom. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. That doesn't necessarily mean like substance abuse though, although it can, of course. That is a form of codependency, but it's any person, place, or thing that is limiting you, that is prohibiting you from moving forward, that you feel unable to let go, that you feel like you need to keep in some way, even if you know it's hurting you, it's toxic, it makes you sick, you still have it there. Here's the dice. So I'm going to begin with stay in bed, try again, and cocktail. I knew it! Sex. Email. So this is the communication. And that may have something to do with Uranus. Well, today, the day on which I'm doing this reading, the 17th, there was a Leo moon with Venus I'm a Gemini, so we had that Leo moon in our third house of communication. We also had Venus in our third house of communication, and as well as Uranus in our third house of communication. All of those affect me. I'm a Leo rising Gemini with an Aquarius moon, Aquarius ruled by Uranus. So like all three of my planets were together in the same place. Maybe that's why I'm so talkative today. In any case, the last die is 29. Spiritual partnership, quote unquote, twin flame. There you have that. And since I drew sex, I will do what I thought I might get to do last week. These dice. Beginning with my choice, lips. Suck, and bedroom. The dice say living room, lips, foreplay, and suck. So maybe a big juicy kiss in the living room or something. Or you can use your own imagination, your creativity. Remember the card from the masculine's perspective? He wanted the feminine to use her creativity in communicating with him this week. So there you have that. All right, release your ex. I'm cutting. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Overall energy is new love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. So, of course, this can be your old love, anew, renewed. For some of us, there is indeed a new love. We're meeting somebody new. And more importantly, it's that new thing that's to fill the space that's vacated by you letting go of, past toxic circumstances and relationships. I married myself this week. I got on these a band and this aquamarine. And it's funny. When I bought this jewelry, this is a Royston turquoise, and my divine masculine's name is Roy. This is a Maria aquamarine, like Mary or Mariama, Maria. This was gifted to me by one of my Divine Light Cleanse clients. It is the Eye of Ra. And this is Blood of Isis. So everything is very much connected, but I didn't go looking for these things. Like I said, oh, I like that ring. And I bought it. And it happened to share a name of my Divine Masculine. Oh, I like that ring. And happened to share a name with me. Oh, that's pretty. It happened to be connected to Isis. I don't know why that just came out before I was doing the spread, but I guess I stopped to look at my hand and there it is. Again, I'm a chatterbox today. I apologize. In any case, the masculine, retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. And playfulness to recapture romance. Allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. And you are healing family issues this week. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. But it's not just your parents. It's anybody and everybody who is so impactful upon your life that they are able to affect whether or not you're able to move on. Anybody like that, you need to heal the relationship with. Whether healing it means repairing it or walking away from them. Feminine. This could be the one. you've already met the romantic partner you seek, or you could marry yourself instead. Somebody actually did that, I think, if I remember correctly, in the news. There was a woman that married herself. The feminine is surrounded by separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. I don't think this is time apart from your partner. I think this is one of those exes being released, or, you know, codependent situations being released from the feminine. Honeymoon. This is more like it. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together, like around Thursday, the 21st, the new moon. And Rosh Hashanah, New Year's Day. Crowning. Unrequited love. See, told you. It's crossing the separation. This is that other person of whom we need to let go. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep that relationship going. At the root. Boom. Reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. What I say. And it too is crossing the separation, because you let go of this person, this comes in. And at the heart of the matter, give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership so you can get that money that the other spread showed. Money in the form of, you know, results, reunion, new love, you know, whatever, you're being paid for your effort, basically. Reaping what you've sown. Further advice from the Tony Carmine Salerno Universal Love Oracle to the masculine is Golden Path. So this too is all about healing issues. Similar to the Wizard of Oz, when you go down the yellow brick road, when you reach the end, you reach the Emerald City. For me, when you go down the Golden Path, when you reach the end, you reach the Emerald Ray, and Archangel Raphael is there waiting for you, you know, to help you to heal. And that's what's in store for the masculine. Feminine. Divine guidance and more moons. So we got to get into that space of surrender too. And then remember, you know, how much more vast than ourselves the universe is, and how the guidance and support and love is infinite. It does not end. You know, we run out of steam. We run out of energy. We run out of gas. The universe does not. So that will always be there. How much you need, you know, it never gets scarce. There's no lack. It's always replenished, whatever it is we need. From the hashtag creepy deck to the masculine, soulmate. So, you know, we've seen new love and true love and twin flame and soulmate. You get the idea this week. Feminine. Beauty queen. We might have a bunch of suitors. It's not the same thing as the dating queen in this deck, but this is feeling good, looking good, being good. It's like all of the above, you know? And there is a saying, something about like you look as good as you feel, or something like that. So we're doing that this week. And from the romance angels to the masculine, chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. And for me, again, this card, just, I don't know, this week coming through very sexual. Maybe it's me, but no, it's not me, because the dice said the same thing. Yeah, so that's what this means this week. There's a lot of sensual, sexual energy. And lastly, for the feminine, love yourself first. So, like this person, whatever this represents, like ceasing to hold on to it. Not for anybody else, but for you. Your self-respect makes you more attractive. It turns you into this. Beauty queen. I hope that you guys enjoy the love reading. I'll see you again soon for the new moon in Virgo. Namaste, angels.